Welcome to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sports.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sport. And we are here for episode 3 of season 2 FPL Convos. And I'm joined by my usual F1 watch along co host, Ishmael, Chelsea fan. And he has some things he wants to get off his chest. He has some unpopular opinions. And Ishmael, how are you this evening? How are you doing, bro?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, it's more of a Real Madrid fan, but when you have to select something with respect to EPL and when you play in FPL, you have to select a side. I'm really just amazed by the Chelsea model. Their strategy for success.
The ruthless strategy for success, which you have to be sometimes, and I like it. You have to be ruthless. So, Ishmael, we had our show yesterday, our live watch along, and at the end of the watch along, you made I don't even remember the exact statement you made. Can you repeat that exact, or the sentiment of that statement that you made yesterday?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact thing, but I think you were mentioning something about Son or Keane, and I was saying that I might just not have Son and Keane in my side, you know.
Right?
So I know that's a polarizing statement to me, but it's something I've been trying to figure out because I started a couple years back in fantasy, when we all started the whole joy of fantasy. And I took last year off because I was doing a lot of things at the time, as well as, fantasy does have that weight on you of the constant, what should I do? What should I tinker with all of these different things, And like the period that started to miss some deadlines, and I was like, yeah, if I'm not gonna play it properly, might as well just not play it.
Yeah.
So
Step back.
yeah, haven't completed most of those stuff now. I decided, maybe I should think about coming back in and joining in the fun that fantasy is.
Lots of fun, loads of fun. But yeah, I understand that step back. Now, this show, this episode here, we're gonna talk about the different your approach, and because there are many approaches in the FPL community that people take, and I just want to get your idea, your perspective on it. Now, we were talking off here. Now, everyone has been trying their best, Ishmael, to pack in the premiums, right? Two millions or 1 million, right? Or just sometimes 5 million that is here, right? But the main template is 3 millions. You've seen a solid defender, a solid midfielder, and a solid striker. But you were telling me that you are going a different approach for now. I know we still have a little time before August 5th. But what's your approach? Which one are you taking off, Miss Ryan?
Yeah. So before I took the time off from FPL, what my approach was, I think it was like a 3 million or 4 million, where I used to pack definitely having that Salah, having that De Bruyne, having that Son, Kane, like having all the players that are sure guarantee
Right.
me points, and then just playing with the differentials with whatever little money I had left. And at that point, like wasn't able to really afford really good in terms of premium keepers or premium defenders, and you know, pack on midfield and maybe have one premium striker and tinker with everything else. But my midfield was the one that I focused on a lot. And, just thinking about it, having, jumping into more data driven decisions, um, doing MSc in data science and stuff like that. So because of that, you know, I trying to see where the data could fall in. And something that I thought about that I really wanted to explore was the price per points ratio, right? So what I look at the price per point ratio is at the end of the season, right, a player is going to have certain amount of points accumulated, and they're going to start off at a price or end off at a certain price. So I try to get like an average of those two and see, okay, most players going in my side are usually long term. I do change by fixture, but at the beginning of the season, I do something that is a gift, but also a curse for me. Because at the beginning of the season, I usually bring in 4 to 5 players that at a lower price than they usually are,
Right.
and they perform really well. So when I start to think over them, and I say, okay, well, maybe I could take them off for these 2 runner games. And then I'm like, if I'm taking them off for these 2 runner games, I'm gonna have to pay a lot higher price to bring them back in.
Correct.
So that's really the cues I get sometimes, right? Because I kind of know I'm indecisive. Okay, do I stick with them and keep them at the lower price I paid for them, and have that extra cash to flexible other positions, or I really want to bring in this play instead, or they have a harder in the games. Do I just take them out for that period, right? Just give me like 1 second, right?
Sure, sure. Yeah, so of course, guys, everyone has a different approach. Everyone, uh, and again, I'm glad we have Ishmael here to talk about his approach in terms of the stats and then using data as in his approach. Hey, Lanesh, big up Lanesh all the time, right? Lanesh, really familiar with Ishmael. Ishmael is one of our co-hosts, so yeah, Lanesh all the time. Thanks for coming through, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ishmael, take
Please
it
make it
away.
hot these days, so upon me, it's all too cool there. Yeah. So I think I stopped off with. Wow, I can't remember right now. Where did I stop off?
He was still no, you just talking about the what captivates me is already data driven in terms of the at the end of the season what you look
Right,
at
right.
and then at the beginning of the season
Yeah,
when you bring it.
right.
Yeah.
So because in the beginning of the season, sometimes I bring in players. So like what I usually do, I usually try to see, okay, well, the price point is driven by 2 things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Performance as well as ownership, right? So performance is something that you can't get away from. If the person performing good, price is going to raise,
Correct.
right? And at that point, you want them to perform good. So what I really try to look at the beginning of the season, and I've been doing it for every season so far, is I look at the championship players coming up,
Ah, very good. Yeah.
and I go through as much of them as I can and see what I can about them to kind of, figure like, okay, well, does this make sense to take a bet on them? At this price point, does this look good, right? And because of that, I usually bring in like one, maybe two of those type of players, and that's the one that's given me the case where like they start performing well, price ranges, and then I'm stuck with, okay, now you started off at 6, now you reach 8, 8.5, right? I don't want you for these 2 games, but I want you for the 3 games after that,
Right.
right? So do I get rid of you and bring you back at a higher price, or do I just stick with you, maybe put you on the bench if I need to, and then pull it back out after, right? So that actually was the biggest case for me I find so far, where I try to stick with certain players and not play for the runner forms, the matches that they have favorable matchup against and stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying to focus on changing this season. But while thinking about that, I thought, okay, well, having that 11 to work with,
Hmm.
that always comes down as, okay, well, all right, I can't really do much with my team, so I have to go and think outside of my team, you know. And I think that we need to focus. Well, for me, I want to focus more on like not necessarily a 11, probably a 13, maybe a 14, depending if I have the money, possibly at 15, right?
Yes, yes.
And then when you take the 100 million that we have at the start rates and you try to get that by 15, you come with like something like 6.5 per player, right? But when you take that 100 million and then you take out 12 for Salah, 11 for Keane, let's see how much your burn is, like 11 something,
Yeah. So,
right?
yeah.
And then that's three players, so out of the 15, that's three,
Alone.
right? So you have like 66 remaining. So you come down, divide by 12, that's 5.5 per player for the remainders, right? So that difference there have me wondering, okay, is this premium really worth it? And what I've come up with so far is that probably not. So what I'm thinking is probably just one, right? And if I can manage to get what I want favorably, then okay, we could probably try to extend it to two, right? So that's where I'm at right now. Um, and I think this season is really a good season for multiple things. But this season is a really good season for me to actually try this out because I think we actually have a really good bunch of players around the 5.5 to 6.5 range where they can make a difference. They can get you points, as well as we have the World Cup at the end, like November. So I
Correct.
mean, even if I feel a little bit in the beginning, I have that time to think and come back across. Plus, so many players that I'll probably go for at that range, 5.5 to 6.5, they may not be involved in the World Cup. So, coming back out, they'll be fresh and ready to go. So it can work out in many different ways for me. So I'm thinking that instead of trying to stack my midfield or get some premium midfield strikers or the one in each, I'm thinking, okay, here's what I can do: four good defenders, like really quality, six, 5.5, maybe even 6.5, that type level, and
Alright.
still get decent returns elsewhere.
So you're not. So yes, a simple spine, and then they're gonna transfer around those. So you're looking at what, one solid expensive player or two, and then they're gonna surround those guys with some
Well,
solid 5.5, 6.5. Because right now the after the 6.5, there's a jump to 8 and 8.5. There's no middle ground there. There's no solid sevens right now. Everything is
yeah,
8
yeah,
and
yeah,
8.5.
definitely, definitely.
Your Sakas, your Bowens, your Mounts, your Zahas, these guys.
Yeah,
But
for
there are
sure.
some decent 6.5s you can look at. So is it so? Is it that this guy is on your? Is this guy on your shopping list? Is this guy on your wish list? This one.
So this guy is the guy I believe gonna challenge for the Golden Boot,
Okay. Very bold statement.
right? Haaland is a generational player. There has been no doubt about it since he came onto the spot. The only question you have with him, besides the pep roulette, of course, is injury and longevity.
Okay.
Because I think he's one of those players that could challenge for like the Champions League all-time scorer. Kind of that's how high I think of him, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes. Yes.
because
Yeah.
he already have so much, and then if he could continue at this rate, he definitely reaching it, right? So I think injuries is his biggest concern because I don't think his quality will drop off unless he gets plagued by injuries, like many of the sad players that unfortunately have experienced that, right?
Yes. Correct.
So okay, yes, I don't think anybody's going to debate me and tell me, okay, he's not a good player. But what everybody's going to jump out and say, well, EPL transition, right?
Yeah. I'm going to jump out and say that I don't trust guys that come from other leagues and jump in EPL just so fast. I'm not that kind of person. So
Right.
yeah,
And I going to counter that with take out most of his qualities, right? Because besides being a out and out goal scorer, he has other qualities as well, right? But let's just take out everything else and just say, okay, he's out and out goal scorer. And give him the ball in the penalty box. You know, he's probably gonna score 3 out of 10 times, right? I'm sure you can agree with me on that.
in Bundesliga, yes, I've seen that in Bundesliga. We don't know if that's going to happen. Come on, Falcao, Cavani, even Cristiano come back. His comeback wasn't all that spectacular, right? And that's not me being biased. I'm not a big fan of him, but that's
Cristiano, we
just
could we
facts.
could go an entire 2 or 3 episodes just discussing Cristiano and why he did
Exactly,
right.
exactly, right? Well, well, this one breaks my heart to say Shevchenko, but that's all Chelsea for Chelsea. But we're not going there, right? Lukaku comeback was not hot at all, right? So it is there's something, and this is what upsets me. And like when people like to say, "Oh, the EPL is the best league in the world," that's a whole different conversation. But I'm not, as you rightfully said, right? And the main reason you are doing this approach, not going for all the 3 meals or going for like, packing a team with these guys. To me, Haaland is an expensive what if, right? Things that we know for certain, Kane does not score until September, right? I know that for sure. I can work with that. I can build on that, right? We know for sure Son is a man hit the ground running. We know for sure De Bruyne, Salah, these guys are solid players to have in the team now. We don't know what. Of course, nothing is certain and showing line, but we've seen them in the Premier League and we know their quality. I have not seen them in the Premier League yet. I have not seen him in his quality in the Premier League yet. So I can't just go on that. I've been hurt too many times by these so-called stars that coming across the EPL and then just flop. Let me see him work with the guys first, and then I will get gassed up. Jesus makes sense because we've seen him in the
Well,
end what he could do, and that's a good show.
what I was going to say, the first person and only person I guarantee to have him aside when that deadline roll occurs is Gabriel Jesus.
Well, all right, that's his man.
That
That's
that
the
is
man with the legend.
definitely somebody that's going to be there, right? But if you come back to Haaland, right? You see Salah, you see De Bruyne, all of these players, right? Salah got a new contract. There's the slump after the new contract phase that a lot of players will go through. So
Fair enough, yeah.
you
And
know,
they referencing Aubameyang, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. I don't know why you're
right?
laughing, but that's a serious. But yeah, no, but you have to remember too, sign new contract and the money weight, that cloud was
Right, right,
lifted. So again, that's another thing to consider,
right.
But
Is another thing to consider is that
yeah, but what about this guy though?
well,
This
I
guy
mean,
nothing your thoughts and plans at all?
well, we have the Kane Haaland decision I probably want to tinker with because Kane has came out hot and sweaty in the preseason, right? I mean, preseason. You can't really do much about preseason like Wiggly,
Right.
right? But him and Haaland same price, right? I think.
Yeah, Kane is might be what 12. Hold on, I can check really quickly for you.
Mm,
Kane is 11.5. Right. So yes. Kane is 11.5.
yeah, both of them is 11.5,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm going with Haaland, I could always switch across to Kane, right?
Correct. If it doesn't work out.
So
Correct is right.
you're saying it's an expensive what if, but it's only expensive what if in that because I can't afford other players, but because probably gonna go with a lot lower prices for a lot of positions is a what if I could make,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't have a big impact because I could always switch across to Kane
True.
or
True.
a lot of different strikers that's less than that as well. So I don't have to go with either one of them, but I could also go with either one, right? So I can start off with them and see, if they making sense to me, and if they remain around the same price, I could actually go between them based on matches and forms, right?
Right, right. No, I'm glad I said that. I'm glad I said that. So if it is that we look at a if we look at the FDR chart, we will see that City has the easier first game than Spurs. So, if it is that you want to go for the Haaland, you think, okay, it's Bournemouth, you could do it against Bournemouth. Fine, it's not to say that his first game is Chelsea or I don't know another challenging team, a defensive team, right, or Wolves or something that will lock him down. So it
Even
is
like a
a good
Liverpool or
shout.
something.
It is or Liverpool or something. It is a really good shout. And then you could always say, right, Kane at the same price. I can swap him for Kane if it's not working. Kane right there, Kane on fire. So it is a decent shout as compared to, I guess, I think it's no. The sad thing is I want Sun really badly, but Sun price and then to juggle to get you can't jump from Salah to Sun unless you have maybe a point 0.5 in the bank and you're moving two people, right? Then you can have maybe a Salah Haaland together, maybe or a Salah Kane. But for me personally, I'm going based on just proven track record. But in thinking about it and conversating with you and researching it, the Haaland to Kane is an easy switch and it's not a terrible thing. But just for me, I don't know Haaland and I have the same preference.
Yeah, and it is a one transfer instead of two transfers or three
Correct.
transfers. I
Correct.
mean, right? So like,
Correct.
that's the easiest thing to just flip the coin. And even okay, you say, all right, well, Kane, we still in August. Haaland, he have a decent opposition coming up. You know, you can just quickly switch him out to, let me say, you do have Jota in your team. Bring in Jota for one match and then switch them back to the 11.5s, right? You don't always have to spend all the money you have.
Correct.
So having that one premium slot, I'm gonna try my best to keep that in the striking position where I could always hopefully afford the highest paid player if I wanted, the most costly player if I wanted to, right? And switch between any of them, right? And then something else I'm looking at is Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal is like if this doesn't work out, I'm going to be very, very sad. But I really, really think that transition from City to Arsenal, we know the quality he already proven in the EPL. We know the quality he had at City, but we know he's going to get the minutes at Arsenal.
Correct.
So Gabriel Jesus to me is, and there's no decision to be made there. You have to have Gabriel Jesus, right? I would say you need to have Gabriel Jesus more than you need to have Salah at this point, right? Because no, only because of the price, for sure, right?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. The price and the quality that you're getting, for sure.
Price and
And
quality,
his minutes and his surety of minutes.
Yeah, right. Salah has a lot of baggage this season, I would say, right? You lose money, you have a non-performing Firmino in terms of goal scoring. I mean, he's a quality player, but his goal scoring went down over the years, right? So, besides that, you have Luis Diaz, Jota, Darwin Núñez coming in, right? Jota shown that he could be up there with the big boys. You have Luis Diaz, who looked fabulous, right? But they don't have the surety in minutes, so I can't really consider them. But what I'm looking at in terms of their relation to Salah is, so far Núñez hasn't have that link-up play in his repertoire, right? So if you look at the preseason games, you see the entire team playing differently with Núñez there to incorporate him and get the best out of him. Which, I mean, kudos to Klopp, getting the best out of his team, getting the best out of his players, right? But does that mean that Salah will have less freedom and more weight of linking up the play rather than being in goal scoring positions? Right? Because who is going to be at number 9, right? You had Mane for the last 6 months. Mane is now gone. Firmino was there before. Firmino is not gonna. To me, Firmino is not gonna start in front of Jota and Luis Diaz, right? So that left side you have these players battling for, but I really think Nunes is going to get a lot more playing time than 50%, right? He's going to get more than 50% playing time in that number 9 position, which is good, and he's a shout to have. But does he take away the goal tally from Salah, right? Because he's not the one that's going to do the type of things that Firmino do. He doesn't have the full repertoire that Mane had,
Correct.
right? So
And that will create.
a lot more is going to be on Salah and the other players around him, right? So I'm not saying that is a liability for the team, because that could work out better for the team. Salah has shown that he can be a very great creator and stuff. But in my FPL, as we were discussing, right? We want the points.
Yeah, we want the points.
We want the goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even discussing Salah, the fact that he getting older and all of these different things, right? We're discussing that, is he going to have to sacrifice some of his goal scoring to get, better team performances? Will he be willing to? Is he going to just hold the ball as much as he can, trying to score these things, and then in effect rendering him and Nunes useless because he's not getting his best out of both of them? Because he could at least bounce it off Mane, bounce it off Firmino. How well can Nunes bounce it with And then we also have the Nunes coming into the EPL, right? And I could be seeing all this, and then Klopp say, you know what, Nunes, you just stick our bench, and I will play somebody else there, and well, we will.
And then we have Champions League to consider too, right? And Champions League is what, week 4, week 3, early, right?
Yeah.
Very early. So we have to consider that as well too. All that is part of my that messes up or influences my decision when I'm creating my team. But you have to look ahead. Do you look that far ahead, Ishmael, when you're creating your team?
Sorry, what's that?
Do you look far ahead or far ahead? Game week 1, so August 5th is approaching, right? So August 4th, 4 a.m., or maybe even August 5th, 4 a.m., you think you're in doing, but do you look at least 2-3 game weeks ahead? Or you with your decision making? Normally, forget World Cup or not, but on a normal season, do you look ahead, that far ahead from game week 1?
On a normal season for game week 1, I try to ignore the first 2 game weeks in terms of, okay, let me say starting against Arsenal and Liverpool as Crystal Palace. If I want Zaha in my team, I'll probably bring in Zaha if we have like 3 greens after that.
Right, okay.
Because, certain players of quality that you bring in, they have hard fixtures, but hard fixtures don't mean you're not getting points, right?
Say that again now. Say that again. I'm tired saying that just because someone has a trick
doesn't mean you don't get points.
Exactly.
You could go against City, you could go against Chelsea, and you could still get points, right?
I always say that.
So if I have a run of 5 greens coming up, I not want to sacrifice that player and possible 0.1 change in a Kagemi and I think with 2 players and all of that just for 1 game week where he could still get like 5 points or 6 points, and I'll take that as a decent return, And I mean, sometimes you have to be not afraid to bench a 8 million player and bring in a 5.5 million player. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree.
If you have somebody playing Southampton at 5.5 million and you have somebody playing, City at 8 million, there's no reason you can't bring the person playing Southampton. We know that probably going to be a favorable outcome. Play him as your sub number 1. Things will work out. You at least have him there. Exactly. There's a chance that he does something. Yeah, so like Salah is one of my favorite players. Weird coming from a Real Madrid fan, somebody who looks at Chelsea a lot. But to me, Salah is a quality player, and I appreciate talent and I appreciate quality, right? And Salah to me hasn't really done anything to show that, okay. Sometimes you have a player like Neymar who dives a lot, I mean, Salah had his period where he did that, but most of the time Salah is a quality player and he shows his quality, right?
Correct.
And he proves people wrong with the quality on the field. But sometimes you have to wonder, is Salah that 12.5 for Salah worth it?
13.0, not 12.5.
Yeah,
13.
no, 13.0 now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I agree.
Quite a lot,
I agree.
And if
That is
again,
that is 8 and 5 is 13. That's a sucker and a whistle that you
exactly,
or maybe
exactly,
right? Right. That's a sucker and a
right?
whistle there or a sucker and a Justin Silver. I just say Mount and or even a Jesus, right? That's just Jesus and somebody solid in the or a 4.5 defender, a Jesus and a 8 Nori and they keep a 0.5 in the bank. Just saying.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
saying. Just
That's
saying.
Jesus and Cucurella put together
Bro, bro,
for Salah.
bro, right? Now, it's all good and well talking it, but let's put it in motion, Ishmael. Let's put
Well,
together
Jesus,
what a typical
Jesus,
draft of
Jesus,
Ishmael. Jesus first.
Jesus.
I don't even stick. Don't even stick. Why I stick in Ishmael?
We know
Why am
Jesus
I
has to be
sticking?
there. Jesus has to be there.
Jesus has to be there. No question about it. Let me find the greatest team in London here. Right,
Yeah,
screw.
by the time you're doing that, you could just remind me of Chelsea's attacking options because I haven't been following any transfers
Of course,
so
of
much.
course, of course. Well, I mean, they recently got Sterling, of course. Chelsea also have Mount. They have, I know they're working on a few other, but Brozier. So Brozier's officially back to his Brozier, of course. Werner, Brozier, Havertz. Brozier's 4.5.5. So a solid backup to the backups because there's no more Lukaku. So
Yeah.
Bruges and Havertz could. I was shocked that they have Havertz here as a forward, but kind of technically as a midfielder, but still, right? You have well, of course, Gallagher's back. You have Mount Sterling. You said attackers Ziyech, Pulisic, and of course the defensive attackers. You have
I was
James.
kind of hoping
Mm,
Lewandowski or that caliber striker came so I could put James and be comfortable with it easy.
easy peasy. Yeah.
But yeah. So something I'm hoping to see this season, right? And if it works out, it works out. Doesn't work out, doesn't cost me much, right? But that Son Keane partnership,
Bro.
right? It's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's
But
beautiful.
could that be replicated with Jesus and Odegaard?
But
So at 6.5, I think last season Odegaard did quite a bit, but I think he's just even going to do more this season with the reinforcements that Arsenal has, the experience he gained,
right.
all of these different things. And I think Odegaard at 6.5, you know, that has to be one of the players on my team,
All right, no problem. So what I got is yeah.
right? Um, no, there's a lot of different players that could try to fit in here, but something that has plagued me previously is that sometimes when I'm doing these things, I'll be like, all right, we could always add goalkeepers last.
Mm.
And then when they come to goalkeeper, I mean, you get a lot of points from a lot of low price keepers, right?
Yes.
But I want a premium keeper, right? And I think Allison has to be the shout.
All right. So at 5.5 hours.
At 5.5, Allison has to be the shout.
Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Now I know we already I know the answer, but I'm just asking. So is Allison your defensive cover for Liverpool?
No.
Okay.
Allison is one of the defensive covers for them.
All right. Just asking.
But I actually think Van Dijk might be the shout.
All right. Yeah. He gets a odd goals here, odd
The odd
bonus
goals here and
points.
there, and then Van Dijk is always going to be on the pitch. I feel like this season Trent may be subbed a little bit more.
And I fully agree with you, and that's where the 5 subs comes in again. What I think will happen, the wing backs, because the wing backs now come like what 3rd or 5th midfielders or fifth midfielders, six midfielders, depending on formation, and
Yeah.
they run, especially Robertson and Trent, and not just on Liverpool, but even Arsenal with Zinchenko, Tierney, Tomiyasu. You have City with potentially Cucurella. Oh gosh, this guy used to be at Tottenham. You have Cancelo, all these guys on the wings there. So Kyle Walker, sorry. So I think it will be. I think the centre backs are going to be the ones that last the longest, barring any injuries or any niggles. And that is why I also went Matip in my team.
Yeah, Matip is a very, very good
Yeah,
shot.
I went
But
Matip in my team.
the only
Thinking
reason I
of
went Van Dijk over Matip is that Van Dijk there for every game.
yes, yes,
Matip might miss you one or two.
correct,
And that point five to secure guaranteed almost every game. I'll take that point five. And well, Van Dijk to me is a lot stronger in here. Matip is by no means, lacking quality there. But Van Dijk is a little bit stronger in here for me. So
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, he has the goals to prevent.
that is
So
right.
yeah,
So yeah, the potential for more goals. Yeah.
yeah, agreed,
Right.
agreed.
And
Solid.
Cucurella, if he move into City or he not move into City, you still need to have him at 5-5. That's really good.
Alright,
Top. Yeah.
And 5.0.
Yeah.
So even better.
Yeah. Right. So
Just
I'll come
let's stop. Hold on, my boy. Here says something. If Ishmael says players, you go stay from that player. What happened to them? Ah! Yeah, big up Lanesh, Lanesh, I clip him in with Lanesh. I saw if you saw the clip Lanesh, it's on Twitter. I clipped him, right? His goat mouth. Right, I clipped him.
he's on TikTok as well. I tried to repost it, but I couldn't repost it.
Yeah, no, I can send it to you directly. That's no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. So yeah, sorry, Lanesh got me this sharp boy. But free of you, Ishmael. So yes, So we have Cucurella, Van Dijk, Odegaard, Jesus, Allison. You want to see the budget on there? Do I scroll up for you to see the budget?
No. We don't.
Right, we don't need that. Right.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Let me add Haaland. This is what I was talking about.
We'll have to scroll up anyway. You want Haaland.
Yeah.
You want Haaland.
We
As
want
you want
Haaland.
Miam. You want Miam.
And the thing is, like, this Haaland is not Haaland, right? This Haaland could potentially be I know it could be Kane. I know Cristiano wins through some personal issues and stuff. Wishing him the best. But if he's back out, could be Cristiano as well. It could be any striker right now. I don't think there's much more expensive strikers than Haaland, right?
Yeah. True. No, I think Kane and just Kane and Haaland. Yeah.
Yeah. So this to me is not, pinning down Haaland. This is to me pinning down that I can get almost any striker I want.
Correct. I like that point. Correct.
Right. So, yeah. So I'm not sure if to give you a quick what do you call this? Would it be a shock to you? I don't know. I feel like you would agree with this. But Dominic Solanke.
All right. Yeah. 1,000%. And you even wrong team.
Dortmund. Dortmund. Yeah.
Yeah, wrong team. Solid show.
Yeah, 6 million. That he has had some experience in EPL before.
Correct.
He's had goal scoring last season in championship. I mean, championship is championship, but still scored quite a lot. And at 6 million, you could be going on it.
No, he's a good show. Because I'm even watching like Iwoni and those kind of players. So he's a good show.
Yeah, and while we down there, let's get Lingard in.
Lingard is on Nottingham Forest, which I think Nottingham made some really good buys this season.
They, to me, have a shout for best EPL transfers,
Facts. Especially for a championship team.
Yeah.
For a championship team, I think they really made some good transfers. I fully agree with you.
Will Lingard repeat his early West Ham form? That's the question.
Well, that is left to be seen, but I don't see why not. Don't see why not. I am tempted as well too.
Yeah. So that's something we gotta see, And while we're here, is Neco Williams
Yeah.
going to get the playing time?
Yes, definitely. They paid 15 for him, and I think he will definitely get it playing time.
And at 4 million,
And they lost a few key defenders, eh? Not lost, but they were loanees. So yeah, I think he will definitely play.
yeah. And well, price per point ratio, as the thing I was talking about. I think somebody who had the best price per point ratio, if I'm not mistaken, is Bowen, right?
All right, Bowens.
How much points did he have?
Let's see. Hold on. Bowen is the man. Now. So Bowen had 206 points last season.
Right. So 206 and 8.5, right? That's 24 point something if you do that ratio there, right?
Hmm.
I think Salah was something like 2022, and at that price, I could go and afford, a Cucurella or something as well, or Neco Williams with the, Salah money, right? So why should I
Yes.
have somebody who on the bench that not going to play and give me any possible points where I could have, Neco Williams on the bench and, could possibly bring in that points, right?
Correct.
So that's some players there that I was thinking about. So now we have some money, and we have some money that we could spend, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
5 players remaining. Was
Five
it was
years.
he was the budget?
32.5 remaining. That's solid for five.
That's real good, right?
That is real good for five.
Considering the positions we have to fill.
Correct. Correct. Very solid. Because you could splurge a little bit.
Right?
Splurge.
I know who could help us splurge. Marcus Rashford.
Well, all right.
Marcus Rashford is going to be part of the tried and proven, field and proven success and failure of the Sancho, Rashford, Martial combo.
Combo. Yes, because I think I saw in the article that Marshall is not going anywhere and he's going to be given a chance. And I think that is a three up top. For sure, for sure,
Right?
for sure. I am tempted to jump in on that three. But I am looking at Ilanga. Ilanga minutes might be um, managed, but I'm thinking because it's Ten Hag, I will take the risk because I know he works really well with young players. So I think Ilanga, for me, Ilanga is my shot.
Yeah, but for me, Marcus Rashford, cheapest.
Yeah, for sure,
He's
for
the
sure.
one that's proven himself the most. I think last season he had some injury problems. I think he's getting over.
And not just like he had a lot of like issues internally he had to deal with. So I know I didn't want to. I always think about that too. I always try to figure out the players, their lifestyle, the fan, what going on with them. So I know if they're mentally in it or not. Because he really wasn't mentally there last season at all. There was a lot of off the field stuff.
Yeah.
I was instructing him.
So
yeah,
I think
sure.
like now he's back, right?
Correct.
And as a starting four midfield, let me say I do a starting four midfield, right? We have that four players there. So how does those four compare to the likes of, let's say, Salah, De Bruyne, um, Rashford, and another player who probably not gonna get any minutes? Does these four make up for those three plus one? So 3.5 essentially,
Correct.
right? And the thing is, yes, Salah scores plenty. Yes, De Bruyne or Son, whoever you want to bring in at second place, will score quite a lot. But after that, you come down to, all right, we have four possible, at least 6 points that we aiming for each, versus two of them with like 12, 15 hit or miss type thing. And then the next two, you're really not getting that return on them. And they're not reliably returning for you, So I think the reliability of the returns here at these price points, playing around with these players, is something that we want to do. Somebody who I think is going to have a great season, and I want to bring them in, but I probably won't bring them in from the start, so I'll be monitoring. And from the time I see you get like 2 runner games in a row, he in my team one time is Christian Eriksen. Because I do think
Which player?
Christian Eriksen.
Oh, Ericsson for Man U.
Eriksen for Man U. I do think he is a quality player. And at that price point, you can't really go wrong with him, right?
Yeah, not bad, but yeah, as I said, I definitely have to see how his minutes are being managed, and yeah, then I'll be tempted
Yeah.
for sure.
So, in the meantime, I'll have to tinker with it and stuff. But somebody who was watching that I might bring in to start with. So I'm not sure on it yet. We could add them now, and then based on if we have cash remaining, we could split somewhere else instead of him.
Sure.
But Ryan Yates from the Nottingham Forest, I think he has potential to be a goal scoring midfielder.
Alright, I see he's have a flag on him right now. 29, no problem.
Was that injury?
Yeah, see 25% chance of playing that. Just sure.
Yeah, but
yeah, knee injury.
yeah. So I mean, well, I guess I wouldn't start with him, but somebody I'll be watching.
He's a good shot. Good deal with monitoring him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still have some. We have room. We have room to play with. We could bring in some solid. We have 4 spaces here. 26 points. That's a decent amount of picks.
Yeah.
We could
So
splurge it.
let me start with a keeper first.
All right, sure. Talk to me.
Let me just go with a 5.5 keeper.
Oh, you want another 5.5?
Yeah. Just because we have different fixtures we want to go up against.
So what are you looking at? Edison, because we have no City defenders, so you want to see Edison as that defensive cover, Loris as that Tottenham defensive cover.
So I was thinking Lloris as the Tottenham cover because I want to do the pep roulette. I want to put myself in that stress this season.
Right. So we have 20.5 and we need 3 players.
All right. Reece James, I think between him and Chilwell, at least one of them you have to have, right?
Correct.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, was the price point on Chilwell?
Chilwell is 6 as well.
Right. So I might be tinkering with that until the 4 a.m. as you were mentioning there.
Yes.
Because those two are very interchangeable right now. I think Chilwell has usually been a little bit higher than James, which is why, instinctively I go to James. But, if he's there, I might think a little bit more there. But in terms of right back cover, I think James is going to have more minutes. So I'll probably stick with James for now. So I have one more defender left. And one more midfielder left. How much we have remaining now?
We have 14.5. Plenty room.
14.5. So this is where I either go Pep Roulette or Trent.
Trent is 7 and we'll leave 7.5 and leave you with 7. And you could probably get Foden if you want to guess the player. Or Mahrez is 8 and you could get another 6 defender. But I'm not influencing the choice, so this is all you.
No, well, this is exactly what I wanted to show you, right? Because we could have Laporte and Mahrez.
Correct. Correct.
We could have Trent and sorry, I forget the option you call this now.
Trent and sorry. I don't forget what I just said. Oh, Trent and Foden.
And Foden, right? So this is what I'm trying to show. Like, we could have a solid team. Is a risky one. I saw someone in the comments said a risky team.
Dr. Buffon, bigger Buffon all the time.
It's a risky team. I'm not gonna lie. It is a risky team, right? But look at this. Look at it. Like,
Now we can't have Foden. My bad. Foden is 8. I didn't realize Foden was so expensive. Oh, Foden's 8.
how
My
much we have
bad.
remaining?
We have 7. We can still get somebody
I
solid here.
Yeah, just put the price filter at 7.
Alright,
Right?
fantastic. For midfielders, right? No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, just put the max
Yeah.
cost at 7. You can leave it sort at points if you want. That's fine. Coutinho is a good shout. Grealish.
Yeah.
Grealish was the one I wanted to bring.
Right.
I
Somebody
do
weird
believe
like Grealish. Right.
I do believe Grealish is going to have a good season.
Okay.
Right?
And what you'll play here, 3-5-2. So Van Dijk, James, Trent, all the midfielders, and Jesus and Haaland.
Or I could go 4-4-2 and
4
bring in
4 2.
Cucurella.
And you just play right, and you bring Cucurella, Nico on the bench, and you drop in who? Lingard, Rashford.
Drop in based on games.
All right,
Yes.
all right.
Right? Or I could do a 4-3-3 if I wanna, say okay, well, Lingard going up against a strong defense. You have Bowen or Rashford going up against a strong defense. And I could say, okay, well, I'm gonna give my boy Solanke a try. He have a easy defense he good up
Fine,
against.
fine, fine,
Right?
fine.
I have
Yeah,
the most flexibility here. Right? Because even at some point I could take a risk on Neko.
yeah. Because Bournemouth first game is well.
Right?
That could
So,
go either way.
yeah, so I mean, look at this team, right? And I could always take out Trent and Grealish and switch that out for let's say Laporte and somebody else, right? But I
Yeah.
prefer having Trent and Grealish at this point.
Of course. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
But-
I'm with you.
But I mean, yes, it doesn't have Salah. Yes, it doesn't have Son. Yes, it doesn't have De Bruyne. Yes, I mean, depending on if Ronaldo there or not, it doesn't have Ronaldo. These are a lot of people gonna say Sterling. Yeah, fine, okay. But do you need all of those players? Do you need those players and then you have 10 good players with 2 players on the field that you're not even sure to get a return from, and then nobody in the bench to back it up. Right, and this is the point where we could no Spurs attacking assets would hurt this team over the first 8 game weeks. We could switch out Haaland for Son and see where Haaland, places himself in terms of the transition to EPL over the first 8 game weeks, right?
Yeah, well, the first 3 games is his age, and if he's not 5, well, all right. Bam, Kane could come in easily because same price. Bam, as you say, you might have to take out 2 players to get to Son, but yeah, or unless you have a one as in the in bank. How much you have in the bank? Let's see, as important. Oh, we have 0.0, right?
Yeah, but I mean, at this team, I expect returns at least every 2 weeks from Jesus, from Odegaard, from Van Dijk, from Trent, from Alisson. So I think in my
Agreed.
minimum,
Yeah.
my minimum should be around 40 or 50 per week minimum.
And you have Bowen as well too. I think if Bowen continues his really fine form, because he really was in solid form, I think it gets us another set of good points here. Just Haaland is a mystery, and yeah. But again, it's Bournemouth, and if things go the way it's supposed to go, you never know.
Right? And this is not to mention if Ericsson, decides he's getting playing time, he performing, we could bring in the likes of Ericsson at 6.
Yeah.
We could, if we try out Lingard, now we can say, okay, we're not going through that. We have Coutinho. What's Coutinho price point? I think he's pretty affordable as well. 7.
He was 7, correct.
Yeah. So we have a good fixture for Villa instead
Yeah,
of
Villa
having
first game
Grealish.
is Bournemouth, yeah. I keep saying City on is Bournemouth. Villa is Bournemouth, City playing West Ham. Now, West Ham, I want to mention, remember West Ham went to beat them in the last fixture. The last fixture they played last season. Plus, I wanna do the most English commentating thing ever, right? City first game was against a London outfit last season and they lost in Tottenham. I know, sorry, that was cringe. That was very English commentary of me. But that's just how I just see it. I just put it in the facts there. So that game could be very, very dicey. West Ham have the up on them on City, right? They a bit, they can give City some issues, so that's not an easy game there at all for City. But we know about the second game is Bournemouth. So that is why, so the switch could have been all right. You have Kane, and you say, all right, give Kane and fire. You have your, but you give Haaland these two games. And then you see, but Haaland, the fixtures get very nice for City after that Bournemouth league because it's Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Nottingham. So those are some good games there to see what Haaland could do. So based on this team that you have here, it's honestly not terrible. Because after Southampton, Spurs have Chelsea, then Wolves. So that's two tricky defenses. Then they have Nottingham first, right? So I mean, I'm not underestimating Forest, but just saying, easy game. West Ham, and then Fulham City. So it's very mixed for the 7-8 weeks there from Spurs. Very mixed, very very mixed.
Yeah, and then have the likes of Coutinho possibly replacing Grealish to start with, and then you could switch them up.
Right, correct. So yeah, because now again, Villa on paper have fairly okay fixtures. They have Bournemouth, Everton, Crystal Palace. First, all are under one away, one home, and one away at home. And then they go into the tricky fixtures: West Ham, Arsenal, City, Leicester. So if you're a person that plays fixture base and you keep it continue up till game week 3, and I say, right, I could dump him now, I could bring in with Grealish. Because Grealish, as I said, City have some decent the fixtures. There's a big fixture swing there for City. Really nice fixture swing after the Newcastle game, right, where they have 3 decent fixtures and then they play Tottenham. So you never know, Grealish might be featured in there. Because around there too is Champions League, and Mahrez is more of a Champions League player. So all that you have to factor in. It's not easiest, man. It really isn't. But there's a lot to factor in.
Yeah, so premiums against form. I mean, yeah, that's true, right? But
that's friendly form, man. Let's remind. I want to remind you from quickly. Sorry, I didn't take it. I want to remind them. Kane was firing on all cylinders in everything else except EPL for a decent period last season. He was good in the international friendlies, good in the what you call this thing, the Nations Cup and all these other things. But when it came, even in the Carabao and all that, but when it came to Premier League, he wasn't firing. Just saying.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, you can't bet against them. Fine. But you have Salah at 13, you have Son at 12, and then you have De Bruyne at how much is De Bruyne?
That is De Bruyne. De Bruyne.
So, yeah, but all of that basically means you're only gonna have 10.
12.0.
At 12, right? So that's 12 by 3 add 1. That's 37 you're taking away from your entire budget there.
Look, well, you see, what these people doing right now is that they will just make a very expensive spine because there's no way anybody is going to put Salah and De Bruyne. So what they're doing is Haaland, Salah, Trent, and Mendy. That's the main spines I've been seeing. But again, even for me, I find that Haaland,
Yeah, but that's a bit too expensive for me. I mean, having a premium, yes. Premium striker, I think, is the way to go. Because I could easily switch them out fixture based or form based or whatever I want to do. Having a premium midfielder would have been, something I may have preferred. But the thing is, you don't need them. Look, I have 5 good midfielders there. And we could take out Bowen, we could bring in Mount. Right? We could switch out all of these players for other good players at that similar price point. And I really think that I might need to think about it a little bit. And yes, I'll definitely be watching the transfers and stuff. But I think this is a good team. To me?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I will like. I like it. It's solid, a nice draft. I know somebody.
You know somebody who we did not mention at all.
Soccer.
Saka is 8.5, I think. So that's a bit much.
Eight.
Yeah, that's
He's
still a
eight.
bit much for me, right? I only
Yeah,
have
yeah.
one. Is between him, Mount, and Bowen. And I think Bowen is given the best returns, I would say. Right? I mean,
Who did you mention?
Bruno Fernandes.
No. Hold on. Nah, no way. No way. I need to see when that big cloud and obstruction moves from United, then I will consider it. Because that cloud and big obstruction that came and messed up and derailed Bruno, when that goes, then I will think about Bruno. Right now, Bruno cannot play with that cloud. So when that cloud gets its move,
Yeah,
if it gets the move, then
but yeah, Bruno playing with the trio on top, Sancho, Martial, Rashford. He gonna assist from them.
I agree. I agree.
And
But
if
again, not enough for me yet. Maybe mid-season, maybe when a wild card in game week 6, 7, then okay, and they fire it on all cylinders and they let me see what are Man U fixtures looking like. Because that was a, it's not a bad
let me
show.
just go to all fixtures actually.
Man
So
U fix so Man U playing Brighton, Brentford. I could bring it up
bring up
because
all the fixtures itself.
yeah, bring it up. Because it's not a bad shot. If the fixture is not bad, because a lot of let's see, it's not bad at all. Consider it. Spurs wing backs could be great value, but we don't know. That is it. That is it, Lanesh. I could go Dyer, to be very honest with you. If I had to get a Spurs, and he had some decent goal returns, sometimes he's on free kicks, he has some screamers. I could go Dyer and Dyer cheap. I could go
Yeah,
Dyer.
I think that is a good shout as well.
Yeah, if I had to. Let's say
No,
I
I have a
will.
problem
If I
because
had
I
to.
have Lingard, Neco Williams, and Solanke on my bench, and I just don't know who to put in which position.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
that was like you play 3-5-2, and the only problem you have there is just the Neko and the Solanke, and at least those are good backups in case something happened to the guys on the field. If someone gets an injury or someone just didn't play, the people will hit. You didn't play at all. At least these guys have solid minutes and guaranteed to start and they're good to go.
yeah.
Let's look at Man U's fixtures now. So Man U playing Brighton and Brentford. Two very difficult games on paper. Let's be real. I know it's in green. I know yes, fine, it's Brighton and it's Brentford, but Brighton normally give Man U a lot of trouble, and Brentford are very difficult at home. Very difficult at home. Then Man U move to Anfield, Southampton, Leicester, Arsenal, Crystal Palace. My goodness, man, you could be fifth or battling for eighth by the end of these first 8 years, depending on how they come out, right? Because those are some none of those games they are easy.
I
None.
think I think their performance in the first game is going to determine how the second game goes, right? Because if they come and they give a solid performance in the first game, I feel like confidence won't carry over in the second game.
And they
And
need
then
to get that. They need to get
yeah,
that. Correct. They
but
need a good start.
if they don't come out in our first game, then that second game, Brentford, like I mean, Brentford on paper might be they say here a easy game, but I think that's a toss up, right?
But
And
that's what I'm saying.
the toss up, I think, based on the first game. 'Cause I think the first game is actually a hard game.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah.
Fully agree with you.
So if that goes, not their way, the
According to
second
plan. Correct.
the second one going to put more pressure on them.
Correct.
So
And then going into Anfield, you don't want that at all.
yeah, who have a good run of forms initially? Wolves. Do I trust players
Yes.
from Wolves? Not
No.
again.
No.
Not
No.
again.
No.
Not after
No.
last season.
No.
Jimenez
Only
is a good.
Cody and Star. Only Cody and Star.
Jimenez is a good shot. Yeah,
Yeah.
good shot.
Yeah. I know people drinking the netto juice, but I'm good. I'm not thirsty. It's alright. But and even with Tottenham, there, Liverpool, there was a team that could frustrate you. And as you said, these first 5 fixtures here are not first 6 are not terrible for Wilson. Not bad at all. They have Leeds, Fulham. So One team that was really close to relegation last season, one that just got promoted. You have Newcastle. One our next promoted team is Southampton, and of course you have Spurs in the mix. They're right difficult. You could park the bus and frustrate them a little bit, and then you could try your best and park the bus and frustrate Liverpool. Not bad, not bad at all. It's like
Yeah.
essentially you could probably get a Nori or something, not bad, or Sap, not bad at
You,
all.
you know who is somebody that like two players actually that are looking at, and is based on the team and the formation that they play. To have two strikers for Forest, right? I believe Forest play with two strikers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Iwoni and Taylor
Ewonia and Brennan Johnson,
Johnson,
I think would be the two to start.
correct.
And the two strikers could help you or it could hurt you, right? Because it takes away less goals from one person. But you could also add assist to that striker as well.
Yeah.
And depending on their form and their fixtures, it might be a little bit tempting to at least get one.
Yeah, at
To
least, well, I have a Woni. I have a Woni in my team. I have a,
right, to replace Solanke. So that six
yes.
million might seem like okay, well, I'm limiting my front, my strikers because you can't really get much, but there are options. There are options that we could use. At that 6 million, any one of those three, I think, is a good shot.
Yeah, solid. I fully agree with you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
But
any closing remarks as we look to wind down here? We just coming up on an hour there. Nice solid episode so far. Any closing remarks? Anything at all? You want any other unpopular opinions that are against the template that we've seen so far? Do you agree with making your first draft so soon, Ishmael? Or are you someone you want to wait till at least maybe 3 4 days before August 5th? At least you see more transfers finalized, or you like to put down something early?
so there's a chance that what happens to me is whenever I have a player on my team that I say, okay, I like this player on my team, I think it's going to give him a good return. For example, Salah, right? If I had Salah on my team initially to start with, right? And then you come and tell me, well, here what? Instead of having these two 4.0 players that not going to play, take out Salah, bring in Bowen and Cucurella. Logically, I know that makes sense. Like realistically, I think that would be a better return.
Yeah, but the formal.
But I already had Salah and I'm moving Salah.
Yeah, correct,
So,
correct.
having players, having something done before, it don't really work for me that much. But this new format I have now, where all of these players are pretty much at price points I could work with to switch
And
out
kneel
players,
down. Right, right.
right? I don't really have any player on my team here besides Gabriel Jesus that definitely starting here for my first game week. Most of the players might stay, but besides Gabriel Jesus, there is not much, possibly Bowen, there's not much more you're gonna get in terms of return on your investment. And if you look at it, you want return on investment as much as possible. Because
Correct.
too much and too long, I have stayed with the let's get the premium in, we get the premium spine, possibly add an next premium player if we could, and just fill whoever we could. Sometimes
Yes.
I
But
use the auto pick until I'm happy with some options. That's how bad things get, right? Because you're not sure who
correct.
you can really fill in with. You
Yes.
just rotate the auto pick 3 or 4 times till they say, okay, well I want this one. Close off the next three. Rotate again till they get a good one. Close off the next two. Keep doing that until they get somebody that you're satisfied with, right? But you're just being satisfied. You're not happy with them, right? And I
You
think
settle
FPL
in.
should
Yeah.
make you happy. Let me move away from this notion that FPL is stress and FPL is supposed to stress you out. FPL is supposed to make you happy, right? And I think that having such interchangeability is something that's really good. And especially my defense, my whole defense, brilliant players, right through. But I can switch out any one of them, anyone, right? And if I see Trent saying that, okay, well, I'm only giving in a return, keep going and I can bring anybody I want.
Yeah, true. You could jump to Cancelo, jump to Robinson, jump to Laporte, Diaz, facts, facts.
You could go Chelsea, you could go Tottenham,
Koulibaly.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the initial draft. And if some players come in through that transfer, to answer your question, if some players come in now, because I'm going with the mindset of I'm having an interchangeable team, I'm not going to beat up. Because the only player that could really mess me up is if we get expensive midfielders. And I already have a
Yes.
mindset with there are too many good midfielders that will give me a possible return on investment for me to beat up over premium midfielders.
Correct.
So right now the only premium place, the only position I do have premium players in is midfield. And I'm okay with that. As much as I would like to have Salah, Son, and De Bruyne on my team all together, I'm okay with it.
But one last question. So I know people will say, are you not worried about how detrimental not having Salah tier rank is effective ownership? Is that something that concerns you?
Again, I mean, I do play FPL as serious as
Right.
much as the others,
Right.
but the day Salah, Blanc, and Rashford get a hat trick.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. And with that, let me just because that's exactly my point as well too. Last season it was the same thing coming. Let's say last 6 games. Now since AFCON I got rid of Salah. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bring him back. And I got him for Fabinho for Salah. Got two good returns. Dropped him. Went to Son, brought his son, captain Son for a while, and I was ready to go. So and Son was chasing golden boot. So I was like, all right, Salah, Son, Salah indifferent, but Salah chasing golden boots. Salah, and I mean Son, sorry. So I put Son, captain Son, and I had a great end of week, right? I'm end of season, sorry. So yeah. Let me, of course, guys. I want to thank my great guest and usual co-host, Linesh. If you could always take in some bits of our live F1 watch-alongs every Sunday. We're back again this one Sunday for the Hungry GP, the last race before the summer break. Of course, Wednesday we'll be doing a special show, a special Depict episode where we'll be discussing or talking to the newbies, right? We're going to try and break down everything from putting in your email straight to going and picking a team and what's the best approach and the different ways and how you can add your own style. You're not telling you always you're right to it, we're just giving you that skeletal approach. Of course, on Thursday, we have the preview for the Hungarian F1. So, of course, don't forget, guys, anything fantasy, we cover it. We are your home for fantasy sport. We're on 504 subs. I want to shout out Raquel. She was our 504th sub, one of our mainstays that comes to the F1 Sunday watch-alongs. And of course, I want to shout out Buffon and Linesh for commentary in the chat. Thanks for the company, guys. Always appreciated. Linesh, all the way from Mauritius. I will keep saying that. It always blows my mind. We have a fan from all the way from Mauritius, and he's part of the panel, the F1 panel as well. So big up Linesh all the time. Big up Buffon as well. And you'll certainly be doing some episodes with him. He already has done an FPL CONVO with us last season. And we'll be linking up with him as well. Again, I want to shout out Ishmael. Thanks so much for coming to Ishmael. And thanks for the insight, thanks for the different opinion. It was refreshing. And I am going to clip the draft that we came up with and we'll put it out there for some opinions for people to take in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Definitely. Just want to leave on a final note of advice.
Of
If
course.
you play FPL, always have Salah on your team. That's good.
All right. Yeah, and don't forget, try and find a new bookie. Guys, I want a new bookie. I think I'm gonna do that. Guys, find me a new bookie. Put it in the comments. I need a new bookie. Right, so Solange, I want any comments, anybody. I want a new bookie. Please.
So the thing is,
a new
right,
bookie.
the thing is, right, when they got promoted, I was like, yes, he's the one. And I jumped on him. And I think I got like nearly 3, maybe even 3.5. If can't remember if he raised that much. Whoever his raise was, I got it from the beginning straight through.
Yeah.
No,
it was amazing.
Yeah. Like,
he didn't light up the Premier League, but he was just what you need as a cheap asset on the bench that was good cover for the COVID and for the injuries. It was great cover. I got a lot of good vital points from him. Even if it was just an assist, got some really good points from him.
I jumped on board with him one time. I was like, yeah, see him? He looks like the guy to score the goals.
For sure. All right. Lanesh, love you, bro. Right, have a good one, Lanesh. It is probably what? Let me guesstimate. It's now, Lanesh, what boy? Now 7 a.m. probably. By Lanesh, probably. Yeah. Big up Lanesh all the
Have a good breakfast.
Yeah,
You know,
take.
we can't end the episode here because Mitrovic, yes or no?
All right, fine. So, yes, for me, yes, but yes with a pinch of salt. Again, Mitrovic is the kind of player that does really well in the championship, but when he comes up, he was like Tony. I drank the Tony lead, right? The Tony lead. When Tony came up, right, the Tony Kool-Aid, I was like, right, I need Tony immediately because I was monitoring his progress, monitoring his goals with a Z. He was scoring like there was no tomorrow. And then when he came up, Dundee start Tony. Right, but again, it was not necessarily his fault. Tony was literally playing as a 10 like Kane, but no one is Kane. You understand? Wow, it's 5 a.m. Jeez and ages. Well, I'm glad we could keep your company, man, Lanesh, man. That's great, man. I always like to hear people say that. I have a friend from Canada. She says she listens to us when she's coming from work on she puts it on the car and listens to us. I really appreciate that. But yeah, Ishmael, for me, yes, with a pinch of salt. For now, I'd rather chase Ewoni and these guys, and then if Mitrovic firing and doing well, if Fulham staying up and they need him to fire in the last 10 games or so, then I will consider him. But for now, normally I would have jumped on him. But for now, no, I'm going to bank on Ewoni and those guys. For now. That's my
So last time I drank the Mitrovic aid, not drinking it this time, no?
Yeah, I love that.
That's a solid no from me.
That's Moby.
Fixtures and form will always dictate who I have in my team. So if he in form and have the fixtures, I'll bring him in, but I'm not going to bank on him.
But, however, the only thing that intrigues me is that their midfield looks a little more creative than the last time they came. But I'll leave it there, and we could always discuss this. But I think with the Andreas and the Mbappé and these guys, they have some decent guys that they've brought in that I think are way more creative. And if given the chance to create, you never know. Because all he needs to do is just be 2 steps just before the offside line, turn and shoot or header, and he could bully any defender. So you never know. Yeah. Well, all right.
Basically, Mitrovic scoring 7 goals in the first 2 games. You heard it here first.
Well, all right, taking that. I might have him in one of my scout teams for sure. All right, so guys, I want to thank everyone again. Thanks, Ishmael, for coming through. Thanks for the great conversation. FPL Convos, guys, we are back. So every week we try to do a FPL Convo. If you or anybody interested in coming on and just having a light-hearted conversation, right? We try not to do anything too heavy or to be too excited on this particular show or this podcast. You can bring all the excitement, but FPL Convo, we just want to rock back and have your thoughts, have your opinions. There's no fantasy without the fans. So anyone that wants to come on and jump in, feel free. Take care, guys. Happy picking. Don't forget August 5th next week. We're in Island Bear for the watch along for the greatest team in London playing Crystal Palace, and we'll be doing our trophy presentation as well. So look out for that, guys. Take care and stay tuned for more.